And we're back with our daily MLB Best Bets here on Monday, September 8th. Of course, NFL action, college football action over the weekend. We now get to lock back in here with Major League Baseball. Not a huge slate today for the MLB, but a serviceable slate, I will say. Enough games and enough good games where we can really make some profit. Now, before we get into the video, folks, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily MLB Best Bets here on the channel. Coming up later today on the channel, we're going to have our college football week number 3 predictions. We will predict every single FBS college football game this week. So lock-in is probably going to be about 3 hours. I don't know. I haven't recorded it yet, but it's going to be a long video. Make sure to go check that out later today on the channel. Not sure on the time, probably around 4 p.m. Pacific, maybe earlier. Do not know yet. And also, go make sure to check out Greedo Plays MMA. This week we posted our UFC Noche predictions. Diego Lopez taking on Gene Silva in the main event from San Antonio, Texas on Mexican Independence Day. And also, later today on Greedo Plays MMA, we are going to have our Contender Series predictions. So go make sure to check out both those videos. Again, the UFC Noche predictions linked in the description down below. Go subscribe to Greedo Plays if you have not yet. Greedo Plays MMA if you have not yet. And subscribe to this channel, Greedo Plays too, if you haven't yet as well. Okay, on to the first of our 5 best bets today for Major League Baseball, kicking things off with our Washington Nationals best bet of the video. Guys, this is tremendous value on the Nats. I feel like this line's going to come down. It hasn't yet, but as of 9 o'clock, the Washington Nationals are plus 120 underdogs in Miami against the Marlins, okay? I have really held off from taking straight Nationals money line. I've held off quite a bit. Now, we did cash with Nationals plus 1.5 yesterday. Shout out to Robert Hassel III and Josh Bell, both going yard in the top of the 9th inning to give the Nationals not just the cover, no, the win. And not just one win against the Cubs, a series win over in Wrigleyville against the Chicago Cubs. Crazy stuff. Nats are out here winning series off of playoff teams. That's neither here or there, though. The Nats now going to Miami, winning 2 out of their last 3 games. And oh, by the way, what happened earlier in the week? Oh, yeah, they swept the Marlins. Guys, are the Nationals the hottest team in baseball right now? Do we need to say that? They've won 5 of 6. I'm just saying, guys, if we win out, Nats are only 78 and 84. Oh, hold on now. Hold on. Still can't make the playoffs with that, obviously. I'm kidding, obviously, but still, I think the Nationals can do some damage here in Miami. Legitimately, I think they can win 2 games, definitely. Maybe 3. We'll see. You know, Jake Irvin and Mitchell Parker scare me, even though they've been pitching a little bit better recently. Kinda. Well, Parker has. Irvin, We'll get to that. We'll cross that bridge when we get there on Tuesday and Wednesday. However, today's game, Cade Cavalli is going to be going for the Washington Nationals, and going for the Miami Marlins is Jansen Junk. Now, Junk is kind of like his last name, Garbage. No, okay. Junk's just a very mid pitcher. He is. Nothing that's going to set you over the top. Has not pitched since August the 23rd against the Toronto Blue Jays, in which he went 6 innings, 3 runs. Sorry, 6 innings, 6 hits, and 3 runs. He's just a guy that's going to fill up the stat sheet. He's going to give you a long start. He's going to give your bullpen a little bit of rest. Like, you won't expect Jansen Junk to get, hurled out of his start early, but he's just not that great of a pitcher. There's nothing all that special about Jansen Junk. He's just there to eat innings. That's legitimately all he's there for the Marlins. He will give up runs, and if the Nats can't score on Jansen Junk, we have a problem. Going for the Nationals, Cade Cavalli. Well, Cavalli's last start was really good. I was very impressed and surprised that Cavalli did that well, coming off of 2 really bad starts back. Just 1 bad start against the New York Yankees. Cavalli bounces back last Tuesday against these Marlins, goes 5 innings, 4 hits, and 2 runs. And Cavalli's been pitching fairly well this season, right? ERA now back down to 4.85. We expect it to, obviously take another dip down today after this Marlins game. And yes, the Marlins are coming off of a victory yesterday, beating the Philadelphia Phillies 5-4. They, I guess, salvaged the series, winning 1 of those 3 games against the Phils. Went at 5-4 yesterday. Marlins are not playing the hottest of baseball, right? I mean, they just got swept by the Washington Nationals. And I get it now. We're playing in South Beach. It's in Florida, not in D.C. I get that. Not like there's going to be any fans in the building at either stadium. That's neither here or there, though. Marlins aren't playing that well. There's guys in the lineup that I like. I think Marcy's good at the 2 spot. I like Xavier Edwards, obviously. Agustin Ramirez has cooled down mightily since the beginning of the year. Otto Lopez yesterday went 3 for 4 with 4 RBI and 2 home runs. I mean, that's a huge night. Hernandez as well in the lineup's good. They've got good players, don't get me wrong. But Cade Cavalli really managed through this lineup last time he faced him, and I don't think Jansen Junk is good at all. I think Jansen Junk's going to get obliterated in the start, personally. Look at the Nats bats that are actually hitting fairly well right now. Dalen Lyle, right? I mean, he's hit 8 triples now in the major leagues, which is just crazy. But Lyle's average this year is up to 282, 2 hits yesterday. Josh Bell against his former team in his former park today in Miami. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, Bell hit the go-ahead home run in the top of the 9th inning to give the Nationals the lead with a 3 RBI shot. Abrams and Wood at the top of the lineup. I know, again, Wood is still a mixed bag, but he can still get it done at times. CJ Abrams, obviously, a very great bat at the top of the lineup. And Dylan Cruz, still doing his thing. He's getting there. Trust me. Dylan Cruz will be fine. And I hope we start Jorge Alfaro today. Jorge Alfaro has been killing the baseball so far as a National. And oh, by the way, he's a former Miami Marlin as well. I think the Nationals win this baseball game. They've got momentum on their side right now. Yes, we're kind of down some bullpen arms today. We're down Jose A. Ferrer, most notably. But you know what? Ferrer can pitch 3 days in a row. Why not? If not, we'll go to Cole Henry out of the closing role today for the Nats. Again, I like what I've seen out of the Nationals out of this last week. I mean, the September 2025 Nats have surprisingly been very good, right? Sweeping the Marlins, winning 2 of 3 against the Chicago Cubs. I expect a victory today out the Nationals, and I think the value is way too good to pass up on. Give me Nationals at plus 120. A Jansen junk start should never be favored for the Miami Marlins, especially the way the Nationals are surprisingly playing right now. Guys, we're building to 2026 now, okay? Washington Nationals money line on the road at Lone Depot Park over the Miami Marlins. On to our second best bet of the video. Let's move to our best player prop of the day. We are going with Polar Bear Pete Alonso over 1.5 total bases on the road in Philadelphia against the Phillies. This is a kind of important series in Philadelphia. Not really. The Phils got 7 games on the Mets, so I mean, it's unless there's a catastrophic collapse over in Philadelphia, it looks like the Phillies are going to win the National League East, and the Phillies will most likely be the number 2 seed in the National League playoffs, forcing the Los Angeles Dodgers, obviously, to play in the first round of the wild card round, hopefully against the Padres, because that would just be fun. It'll probably be the Mets. Anyways, though, I mean, we're probably going to get a good series regardless of the 3-game wild card with the Dodgers. But Phillies Mets this week. Last time these two teams faced off, it was bad for the Phillies. They go to Queens and they get swept against the New York Metropolitans. Now, the weird thing about that series is, since the Phils left New York and since the Mets won all 3 against Philadelphia, the Phillies have only continued to win and the Mets have only continued to lose. Really weird. Now, Trey Turner got injured yesterday. We'll see what happens today. Again, I know this is not even about Trey Turner. I just thought it'd be a good idea to go over the series a little bit and just, okay, Pete Alonso over 1.5 total bags. We're going Pete Alonso today because, my goodness, the ownage he has on Aaron Nola is crazy. So, obviously, right, Phillies, Mets, these two teams face off 4 times a season or 4 times, 15 about. So, I mean, 15 times a year is what I'm going for, give or take. Probably a little bit more. No, about 15 times a year. So you get a lot of matchups, obviously, right? Aaron Nola and Pete Alonso see each other at least twice a season. Pete Alonso, career-wise against Aaron Nola, is 18 for 55 with 3 doubles, 6 home runs, 12 RBI, 5 walks, 327 average. I'm going to take those numbers. He has the best average out of anybody on the New York Metropolitans against Nola, except for Starling Marte, who's actually 11 for 33 career-wise against Nola. But Pete Alonso's always managed Aaron Nola really well. And oh, by the way, look at the way Aaron Nola's pitching in 2025. He's been bad. So you take all that into account, right? Even at Aaron Nola's best, Pete Alonso had serious ownage on Nola. And now we get a bad version of Aaron Nola in this one. I wonder how it's going to go. Right? First time these two teams met up with, or at least first time Nola and Alonso saw each other this season really early in the year back in April. And I believe Alonso went 1 for 3 against Aaron Nola. But Aaron Nola now is a 6.78 ERA. Last start against the Milwaukee Brewers at American Family Field goes 5 innings, 6 hits, 6 runs. Start before that against the Braves, 6 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. Now, Nola gets saved most of the time because of the fact that the Phillies can just score runs and outpace teams. But I don't know, man. I mean, the Phils, to me, they're still the favorites to win the entire thing just because you still have a couple front-end starters that can be really effective in Sanchez and Suarez. If they had Zach Wheeler, though, yeah, they'd be by far the favorites to me. You still have 2 really good pitchers, though, and they should be solid, and you're still trying to figure out the back end of this rotation with Aaron Nola, with Walker Buehler, who pitched in AAA yesterday, right, for the Iron Valley Pigs or whatever they are. Lehigh Valley, I don't know. Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs, I believe, is what they are. Nola's not very good anymore. He throws a lot of stuff center that just gets hit and gets bombed on, okay? I think Pete Alonso's going yard against Aaron Nola today, right? I'm not telling you the Mets are going to win. I wouldn't play that. The Mets are actually favorites in this game. Actually, they probably will win. Nolan McLean is pitching. However, I don't know. The Phillies are just better at the bank. I don't care who wins, okay? I don't like both these teams personally. I actually dislike the Mets more. Well, if you've watched on the channel, that shouldn't be a surprise. I hate the Mets. But I think Pete Alonso today is going to go over 1.5 total bases. There's just serious ownage on Aaron Nola. -110 is the odds. And you look at, all of the players in this game: Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber. The guy with the best odds to go over 1.5 total bags is Pete Alonso at -110. I think next up is Soto, I think, at +100. So I'm going to go with Polar Bear Pete, -110 for 2 total bases in Philadelphia against the Phils. Added bonus as well, Mets are on the road. He's guaranteed the Mets are guaranteed a 9th inning at the plate. And Aaron Nola has just been horrible in 2025. So give me Polar Bear Pete Alonso and the New York Metropolitans to come through today. Alonso over 1.5 total bags against the Phillies in Philadelphia. Let's move on to our third best bet of the video. We go to our first money line. Well, technically second money line if you count the Nationals bet. We're going to Petco Park, right? San Diego, California. The Cincinnati Reds head on the road to take on the Padres. I'm taking the Reds. Yep, +130 underdog. I think the value's pretty good here. I think it is. And I think you combine that with our other play for our other money line late night, and I think we're in a really good spot. Because I believe one of the two are definitely going to hit. I think there's a very good chance both of them hit, right? The Reds are pretty much out of it. Actually, no, they're not. They're only 4 games back, okay? They're trailing the Mets. They're kind of out of it, but it's okay, right? Reds are still, the Reds think they're still in it. Because, in all fairness to them, they were 6 games back, but they won back-to-back to close the series against the Mets to get back down to 4. So they are 1 game over 500, but they're still only 4 games out the postseason. So the Reds are still playing for something after winning a 3-game set at home in Cincinnati against the New York Metropolitans. After they should have swept, let's be honest, after they couldn't come through in Friday night's game with bases loaded, no outs against Edwin Diaz. Regardless, the Reds go on the road to San Diego now. The Padres, I don't care. They won the last 2 games in Colorado. I don't think that's fixed them. I still think they're going to be really bad when they play a non-dog crap baseball team, okay? Because let's just say how it is. Well, that's what the Rockies are. The Rockies are horrible. The Nationals are bad. The Rockies are 40-102. I mean, come on now. Come on. San Diego had lost, by the way, their last 5 games before winning the second 2 in Colorado. They got shut out on Friday night by Kyle Freeland. Obviously won back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday, winning 10-8 on Saturday night and then winning 8-1 on Sunday afternoon. And, it was a big power night yesterday out the Padres, something that hasn't happened much this season because the Padres, I believe, I don't know if they're still dead last, but they have been one of the lowest home run teams in all of Major League Baseball this season just because the power hasn't come through for a lot of these guys this year. Machado hit, I think, his 23rd home run yesterday. Ramon Laureano hit a home run, and Gavin Sheets hit a home run, and Jackson Merrill. That's great. The power, though, is not a consistent force, though, for the Padres. It just isn't, right? That's not something they can continuously go to. It's few and far in between. Doesn't help as well when you have Luis Ariz playing for you, who, will always put the ball in play, but doesn't always put the ball in play hard. Anyways, I'm taking the Reds tonight. I'm taking the Reds because of the pitching matchup, and because I believe there's going to be some regression out the San Diego Padres coming home to Petco after playing at elevation in Denver. I do believe there's going to be some serious regression here. Starting pitchers tonight, Yu Darvish and Nick Lodolo. Lodolo's been a mixed bag, I will not lie. 3.22 ERA. He was pulled from a start in early August in Chicago against the Cubs, then scratched from his last start due to an illness, but here he is now. So his last start that he actually went out and pitched was in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. He went 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits, and 4 runs. But Lodolo's been decent in 2025. In July, he had his best month of 1.89 ERA, just only made 2 starts in the month of August, got pulled in the Cubs start, and then didn't do all that well in Los Angeles against the Dodgers. But in all fairness, who does well against the Dodgers? Now, Lodolo just 4 starts ago went to DC. This isn't like that crazy of a feat because Eric Fedde did it this season too before he got DFA'd. But Nick Lodolo went to DC on July 23rd and pitched a 9-inning shutout against the Washington Nationals. 8 strikeouts on 105 pitches and just 4 hits in 9 innings. Lodolo is very capable. And I look at this tonight against the Padres lineup that, they've been mashing the ball in their last 2 games. That's great. What happens now when you're not playing in elevation? It's still a mediocre lineup in my opinion. And I know they added Ryan O'Hearn. I get it. They have added Ramon Laureano. That's great. Imagine where they would be without those guys. Imagine where they'd be if they were still playing, Edwin Diaz every day as their starting catcher. I know, again, he's in a bench role now. Or imagine Martin Maldonado is still starting, right? They're better, they're still not great. And this is why we can't treat San Diego as a serious contender. I'm not telling you the Jason Adam injury alone makes them not a contender anymore, but the injuries in the bullpen are adding up. Well, the injury in the bullpen is adding up. And I can't trust in this lineup to win in the postseason, and I can't trust them to win tonight either. Because also, look at how many lefty-lefty matchups there's going to be for Lodolo tonight. Luis Ariz, O'Hearn, Gavin Sheets, Jackson Merrill, Jake Cronenworth, and I get it, they're not going to play Crone tonight, that's fine. They might even sit Ryan O'Hearn, because that's what Schilt does for some reason when left-handed pitching goes for the opposition, which I don't completely understand. But I'm telling you, left-handed pitchers against San Diego usually fare pretty well. Yeah, again, it's mash time for Laureano, it's mash time for Machado, not like Tatis has been playing all that well this season. So I think there's a lot of good matchups for Nick Lodolo in this start, and on the flip side, Yu Darvish is going for the Padres. Unk is pitching for San Diego. He's 39 years of age with a 5.75 ERA. I'm not going to tell you the Reds lineup is the best. I think they're just able to find ways to scrap runs across the board. And I will tell you what the sole producers out the Reds lineup are. Noelvi Marte and Elly De La Cruz. And Andujar when he's in the lineup. That's it. I'm so serious. But those two guys alone can really get something going against Darvish. And maybe, maybe we're going to get a Tyler Stevenson, production day. Maybe we'll get Spencer Steer or Ke'Bryan Hayes or Matt McClain. Maybe someone will just help out today against a very mediocre pitcher in 2025, and that is Yu Darvish. Darvish's last start was a loss for the Padres against the Baltimore Orioles in San Diego. Darvish goes 4 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs. Hell, the Padres lost every single game against Baltimore in that series. Start before that for Darvish in Seattle. 4 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs. Darvish is not a very good pitcher in 2025 anymore. He's not. He's extremely hittable, does not have the put-away stuff he once had, and I think this is a win today for the Cincinnati Reds. I get their lineup sucks, but I think it's a really favorable night for Nick Lodolo, and I just think the lineup's able to scratch across just a couple runs for their starting pitcher. I'm going to be going with the Cincinnati Reds to win on the road in San Diego against the Padres. I'm going plus 130, big money line odds for the Cincinnati Reds. We move on now to our fourth best bet of the video. We go to our other money line before ending the video with our daily nerfy. Let's go to our second or third money line of the day. Anaheim, California, Angels versus Twins. The Twins suck at baseball. So that's why I'm going to go with the Angels. Well, it's more complex than that, but the Twins are just horrible. Oh, they won yesterday. Don't let that faze you, right? The Royals the Royals are only 2 games out of the postseason. They could be 1.5 if they didn't lose yesterday. I know, again, you'd be asking a sweep out of the Royals, but when you're playing the Twins at home, that's kind of what you need to have. Guys, the Twins are a bona fide AAA team right now. Let's just call it how it is. Byron Buxton's a great hitter. Keyshaw has hitting the ball well this year since being called up. The rest of the lineup's not good. Guys, Austin Martin, one hell of a player in college. Still can be a really good player in the pros. Haven't entirely seen it just yet, even though in the limited sample size he's played this season, he's been good. Austin Martin bats 2-hole for this team. Again, tremendous collegiate baseball player. Loved watching him play. But, really? That's your 2-hitter? Wallner in the 3, Cody Clemens, Royce Lewis is still around. It's just not a very good lineup. It's not. And I get it, the Angels are going to be starting a pitcher making, I believe, his second career start tonight, Caden Dana. To be completely honest with you, don't know the most about him. It's his 4th career start. He's been part of this Angels farm system for a little bit. And the Angels farm system with pitchers is never the greatest. 9.58 ERA last season. This year, ERA is 4.91 over 3 starts spread out across 3 different months. 1 in April, 1 in May, and 1 in September. Well, the September start, he was pretty good. In Kansas City against the Royals, Angels ended up winning the game 4-3, and Caden goes 5 innings, 2 hits, and only allows 1 run. So ERA now down in the season to 4.91. Flip side, the Twins are starting Simeon Woods Richardson. Simeon Woods Richardson in 2025 is not a very good pitcher. Well, that's kind of harsh because he's only 24, and I'm saying he was in his prime at one point. I don't think Simeon Woods Richardson's ever hit his prime. Well, last year, I guess he was pretty solid. He's been bad over the last couple starts is what I'm trying to get at here. Woods Richardson, I know has dealt with injuries all year long. He was pretty good actually in the summer. Last 2 starts, he's been bad. So I need to correct myself. Simeon Woods Richardson in his post-injury, Simeon Woods Richardson has not been good. Okay? That's what I will say. Our post-send down to AAA, right? I believe there was I'm pretty sure there's an injury in there too. I know he got sent down at one point. Anyways, 4.53 ERA in the season. 2 starts ago against the Twins. 3 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 5 runs. Last start against the White Sox, it's the start of the rout that the Chicago White Sox put on the Twins at Target Field in Minneapolis. Richardson goes 5 innings, 2 hits, and 3 runs, and walks 3 guys. Always a strikeout threat, kind of. He can punch you out. I just like the Angels lineup in this spot. I do. Angels, I know, lost the first 2 games of that A's series, and the pitching was horrendous for them. They give up 27 combined runs in the first 2 games of that Athletic series. I understand that. They had Scott Kingery pitching for them in the 9th inning of the Saturday night game when he struck out Nick Kurtz with like a 30-something mile an hour, eephus pitch. It was crazy. But anyways, Angels win 1 game out the series yesterday. They won it 4-3. Lineup's interesting at this point. Like, what the Angels are batting in September is odd. Last night, they batted Trout, Moncada, Ward, Adele, Chris Taylor. Ooh. Zach Neto got the day off, so expect Neto back in the 1 spot tomorrow. But, I mean, look at what the Twins are hitting. I mean, it's just, this is a very September baseball game. Let's just call it how it is. It's a September baseball game. 2 teams that are way out the playoffs, and I know what you might be thinking. Why are we betting on this? Because the Twins are even worse than the Angels is why we're betting on this. That's the main reason. I believe more in the Angels lineup than I do the Twins lineup. A Twins team, and just the team in general, guys. This is a Minnesota Twins team that, before yesterday, had lost so many games in a row. I mean, it's one thing to get swept by the Chicago White Sox in a 4-game series. It's a whole nother thing to get swept by the Chicago White Sox in your own home ballpark. Somehow before that, they won 2 of 3 against the Padres, because make it make sense. Well, the Padres suck. But then, first 2 games in Kansas City, they lose. Yesterday, they win 5-1. Okay, right. It is what it is. Byron Buxton and Cody Clemens both went yard yesterday for the Minnesota Twins. But you're due to win one eventually. I think the Angels win this first game of the series. Minnesota having to go on the road. Again, they've been on the road for quite a bit. Going to Kauffman in Kansas City. Now going to Angel Stadium over in Anaheim. I believe the Angels win the first game of this 3-game set. Not over the moon about our pitching matchup, or at least just our pitcher going today. And obviously the Angels bullpen has never been good, except for Detmers and Kenley Jansen at times. But I'm still going with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim to win at home against the Minnesota Twins. We get minus 125 odds today for the Halos, and I believe they're going to come through, beating Minnesota on their own home field. On to our final best bet of the video. We go to our daily nerfy. We go to the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. Thank you to the Boston Red Sox for finally winning a baseball game yesterday. Oh, man, that one got tricky. I thought they were going to lose again. I thought they were legitimately going to walk into Arizona and get swept by the Diamondbacks. They found a way to score 3 runs in the top of the 7th, take the lead, not to just only give it right back in the bottom of the 7th because Jordan Lawler hit a base knock into left field. Thankfully, Boston gets a double play, gets out of the inning, and in the top of the 9th, man, Nick Sogard with a huge 2 RBI double coming off the bench, hitting for Connor Wong. Red Sox win the game. They tack on another run with Narvaez and Aroldis Chapman. I know, again, this doesn't really involve the Red Sox a lot, but I just feel like we got to talk about it. Aroldis Chapman, guys, hasn't given up a run like a month and a half now, maybe more. The run he's on at this age is crazy. Anyways, today's nerfy is the Diamondbacks and the Giants. Oh, the answer backs. They score runs. Okay, not off Logan Webb. They won't score off of Logan Webb in the first inning. I don't know if they're going to score much against Logan Webb. Some of that Diamondbacks magic kind of disappears when they leave Arizona. Because, I don't know, some weird stuff just goes down in that building. All right, Chase Field, I don't know. Weird stuff goes down where, I swear, Jake McCarthy's just faster, Alec Thomas is faster, Corbin Carroll's faster, and they all get plus 10 boosts to their power when they play at home as well. And just wacky stuff goes on in that stadium as well. Take them away from Arizona, they're not as good of a team. And obviously, Logan Webb starting today for the Giants, the ace of the rotation, a guy who has been lights out all year long. Another all-star appearance this season for Webb, 3.17 ERA. Webb's been pretty good. Last starting in Colorado wasn't great. It was good, it wasn't great, but you're pitching at Colorado. You can't really put much into that. Look at the starts prior to that for Logan Webb. 7 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs against the Cubs. 6 innings, 5 hits, 1 run against the Brewers on the road in Milwaukee. 7 innings, 3 hits, 0 runs against the Tampa Bay Rays on the 17th. Yeah, Logan Webb's a really effective pitcher. And we look at just this spot today in the first inning. Okay, I think Webb should be able to get 3 outs. The matchups he will see will be Geraldo Perdomo, Ketel Marte, and Corbin Carroll. Those 3 guys yesterday went a combined 1 for 11, with the only hit being a Corbin Carroll single in the 4th inning. Now, I know Perdomo and Marte are still very great hitters, right? They are going to bounce back. They're not going to go 0 for 4, both of them, every single night. And they are switch hitters, obviously, so they both get the matchup they want against Webb. They can both bat from the left side of the plate. Webb is still, though, an elite pitcher in baseball, okay? And yeah, Webb is going to have to see 3 lefties because you get past Perdomo and Marte, here comes Corbin Carroll, right? And then if you get into the 4 spot, Gabby Moreno is a righty, but still, the toughest part of this Arizona lineup is undoubtedly the top of their lineup, right? You get past Perdomo, Marte, Corbin Carroll, and Moreno, then you get, again, right, McCarthy, Blaze Alexander, Alec Thomas, Ildemaro Vargas, Jordan Lawler, Tyler Locklear, those type of guys. While those guys randomly find ways to get hits in Arizona, because they just do, on the road again, and especially against a good pitcher, they're not going to have that magic. Yesterday, Diamondbacks nerfy hit. They didn't score in the first, nor did the Red Sox score. And pitching today for the Arizona Diamondbacks will be Nabil Crismat. I don't know how this Linsanity run has continued, but it has. Nabil Crismat this year with the 2.14 ERA, he continues to do his thing. Over 4 starts, his last of which being on Tuesday against the Texas Rangers, Crismat goes 6 1/3 innings, 7 hits, and 2 runs against Texas. I don't know how it's happening, but here we are. Somehow in 2025, Nabil Crismat is an effective pitcher. And he's facing the Giants lineup. Guys, the Giants run, unfortunately, is over. We got off, I guess, at the right time. Not really. They screwed us yesterday. And the run should have continued, by the way, yesterday or 2 days ago when we, they lost thanks to Ryan Walker intentionally throwing the game. He didn't actually, but it felt like he was. The Giants are right there, man. They're still only 4 games out, but if they could have just won those 2 games in St. Louis, they'd be 2.5, 3 games out the postseason right now. It's a big series, mind you, for both these teams right now. But it doesn't mean as much now that San Francisco's coming off of back-to-back losses with only 3 weeks left in the year, right? Anyways, Nabil Crismat is going to see Elliot Ramos, Rafael Devers, Willy Adames. That's a tough 1-2-3 to go up against right now. I don't care that yesterday they only had 1 hit of the 3 guys, and that was Devers. That's still a dangerous 1-2-3. But man, I faded Crismat last time he pitched. We took the Texas Rangers. I said, okay, the Nabil Crismat, Linsanity run has to come to an end. And we took Texas. And obviously that did not go our way. The Rangers scored 2 early runs off of Nabil Crismat. But ultimately, right, Arizona won the game 5-3. And oh, by the way, right, those runs were scored in the 3rd and the 4th inning. So not, again, in nerfy range. I think we're going to be okay. I get it. The Giants lineup, for as much crap as I've talked about San Francisco's lineup all year long, the top of the order is way more difficult to face than Texas's top of the order. That's, of course, in Crismat's last start. But I think he should be able to manage, right? Ramos is good. Devers has been better. And Willy Adames has been very good over the last month. I just need 3 outs out of you, Nabil Crismat. And oh, by the way, we have one of the best defensive outfields in baseball in terms of getting to fly balls and whatnot, taking away triples and triples alley. We've seen it time in and time out with Alec Thomas and Corbin Carroll before in this divisional matchup at Oracle Park. They take stuff away down in triples alley. And if you can take away triples alley like Jung Ho Lee does for Logan Webb and the San Francisco Giants, then you make the nerfy so much easier because, well, Oracle Park then goes from being a really good pitcher's park to the pitcher's park in all of baseball if you're able to eliminate that gap down in triples alley in deep right center field. So I think Nabil Crismat's going to be able to find 3 outs. Again, I'm a little concerned with Devers and Adames, but I think he'll get it done. And I have really no fear that Logan Webb won't be able to go out here and get outs. I get it, Marte, Perdomo, and Carroll are tough matchups, but Logan Webb is just that good as a starting pitcher. So if we can get into the bottom of the 1st, which I think we're going to, we just need to hope a little bit, but I think Nabil Crismat's got us the way he's been pitching so far in the bigs this season, and we will have our nerfy today at -140 odds between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the San Francisco Giants. So folks, thank y'all for watching our MLB Best Bets here on September 8th. If you have not yet though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to comment. If you do disagree with any of the picks, we'll be back tomorrow for more daily MLB Best Bets. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.